Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another free Grand Arena video. So in this one I just want to show you some battles and talk about how some of these Datacrons they shift the metas, right? So we do have the focus Datacrons with Aphra and Boba, so I'll show a couple battles with those, and then as well how this kind of has knock-on effect on other things as well. So, and yeah, of course the Sidious Cron as well. So definitely trying to kind of put the defense down that, you know, people can't take advantage of these free crons, Sidious, Aphra and Boba. I think it's gonna be the key here, right? Because you don't want to give guys like an easy win with something difficult. And that's really what I'm saying here, like Jabba, for example, Aphra with Aphra Cron is just such an easy win that, you know, what I've been doing, checking, hey, does my opponent have Aphra Cron? If they do, I do not put Jabba on defense because I don't want to just give Jabba and they get 57 banners versus my Jabba for nothing. I'd rather them just use Aphra on something else, something easier, 57, and I get to use Jabba on offense to potentially even solo something for some good banners. So let's just start here and then we'll work, I guess, through the rest of the battle and talk about the knock-on effects on other things as well. So they do have the level 6 for thermal detonator, so that's the good one, the right one to have for hot cartel. It still won't matter, obviously Aphra crons, all these focus Datacrons will be the same for all of us, so let's go ahead, hop in. It does take a while to get through, so I was a bit worried there for a moment that I might not get through Jabba fast enough, but eventually we pulled through. Now the good thing about this here is that we can ignore taunts on the debuffed enemies, so that's why you can just ignore Kersantan and go straight for Leia, unless of course Leia would resist that doubt in beginning, which actually did happen once as well. So it took a couple of turns before I could actually target Leia when I had some other debuffs. With Leia down, I guess that they really don't have any damage anymore on this squad. However, if you do take too long, Jabba potentially maybe could get to the ultimate and maybe insta-kill somebody, I don't know. But even if that happens, obviously Aphra can't be targeted with these Datacrons, so worst case scenario, he takes one of the droids out and then, you know, the remaining droids can still finish Jabba. So once Kersantan goes on for the first time, you can just ignore Kersantan because you can target Jabba, make sure to take him down before he gets to the ultimate, finish Kersantan, and 56, alright, they were able to snipe a banner, 56 banners. And that's why I've been, you know, for the first week, people were putting Jabba, and then second week, I didn't see any Jabbas anymore on defense, to be honest. So it kind of was always a bit of a then difficult one, like what is Aphra on that gets a good banner win? I did get a Malgus here on the back wall, so I didn't have a whole lot left yet in this particular round. So I had a look at the data and Aphra seems to do well versus Malgus, so I said, you know what, we'll give it a shot. Now they didn't have particularly good Datacron on there, but they are high relics, so still a bit concerning how much damage they will be doing. So I'm not sure, like, is it completely reliable? It might rely on Datacrons or not, but as you will see from battle, I totally misplayed it and I still pulled out with a win, spoiler alert. So probably this could be pretty reliable as well. Maybe the Malgus Revive Cron could complicate things, but probably not, I don't know. So here I totally forgot I can ignore taunts. And because obviously if you ignore taunt, you just go straight for Darth Revan and just finish him before he gets to do a whole lot. But for some reason my mind was just blank at that moment and I forgot I can ignore taunt, as I've shown you in the first battle. And I'm like, how is this 100% according to the data, right? Like, I'm getting here butchered. And then at some point I realized later on in the battle, oh wait, I can ignore the actual taunts. But so far not looking too good. I'm just trying to avoid hitting Malak so I don't get feared. Just kind of constantly stuck behind Malgus. I'm like, come on, we need to finish this guy already so we can finish off Darth Revan as well. Basic, hardly doing any damage there, unfortunately. I'm like, oh boy. Luckily, obviously, they can't target Aphra, so at least we have that going for us. So we can bring everybody on the next turn back, but then Darth Revan lands fear, Aphra misses a turn. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and bring everybody back. Alright, I'm like, oh, I'm still stuck, right? I lose another droid again. I'm like, this is not looking too good. I'm like, oh wait, right, I can ignore the taunt. Well, at least BT can, I guess. So let's see if we can actually turn things around. So you can see, even with a serious misplay, well, not just one, but series of misplays, I was actually able to recover from this one. So I guess, obviously, if you remember, hey, I can ignore taunt. Aphra versus Darth Malgus could work well as well. Not sure how many banners though, because obviously my banner win's not gonna be amazing because of all the misplays, but I guess worst case scenario, you're probably looking at 54 banner wins, which isn't high, but you know, if you've got nothing else left in the tank, it could be a nice one. So there we go, got him down, and pom pom. Just gonna dance with Malak a bit for a minute or two until we finally get him down. Come on, that's it. Rack those cooldowns, get us stun. Yeah, there we go, that should do it. Come on, there we go. And it was good for 53 banners, even with like serious misplays. Okay, so that's the thing with Datacron, right? If your opponent has Datacron, I would not put Jabba down on defense. Let them use Aphra on even Malgus or something else, right? It's still better. Jabba is just so good on offense that, you know, just a waste letting your opponent do a cheap counter with Aphra. And then also, obviously, we have the Boba Crown now. Similar like with Aphra, like I was a little bit struggling always to find a good target to take down. Like, yeah, you know, you can take a lot of, you know, weaker teams down, but you didn't invest all these resources just to take some like C level teams down. Like, well, how can we take like B or A level teams down now? So there are different Datacron combinations opponents can have here. So I'm showing you versus level 9 on Kyle. This was a straightforward battle, but I forgot to record in one of the rounds I was facing Sol level 9 when he kept getting bonus turns every time he defeated somebody. That one was dicey. I thought I'm gonna lose. Barely pulled out a win. So I don't know if I would want to do versus Sol level 9 Boba in the future. It just looked too dicey. I lost Fennec right in the opening sequence. But obviously, if they don't have level 9 on Sol, I think this is a good counter. Reliable, high banner as well. Definitely good to have finally some use of Boba. Almost feels like that's how Boba and Fennec should be in the first place, right? Same like Sidious with his level 9 Kron. That's what Sidious's Omicron should have been, right? So anyways, maybe they could add Omicron to Fennec that kind of does some of this. I think that could be cool, but anyway, not much of a problem versus level 9 Kyle. Versus level 9, so things get dicier. So in another round, my opponent didn't actually play Saw down for some reason. Maybe they kept him for offense for something, so I did go versus Gungans. That's, I guess, a nice use as well of right Boba. Like, you know, Gungans are kind of annoying to deal with. They don't have an amazing Datacron right now, so they're not like top level defensive teams. Personally, like to keep them on offense because they're just such a cheesy squad. But anyway, I'm like, well, we can ignore protection, so if I just keep hitting them, we'll take them down. So just wanted to give it a go, but they kept recovering health or whatever. I don't know. So I'm like, all right, fine. Let's just go straight for shield generator. Now, luckily, Boba on his basic, he deals damage multiple times. So does Fennec. So you can pretty much get a shield generator down very, very quickly. I think one more hit and generator should go down. There we go. Obviously would have been down even quicker if I would have targeted the generator straight out. And now the generator is down again. We can just, you know, ignore all the protection. And these guys should go down very quickly because they have very low health pool. There we go, got him down. And just down to Baylan. So I guess a nice use of Boba as well. If there is no Saw to take down. Okay, so let's see now how Sidious Crons affects our meta, right? I did this twice. This is just one of the rounds I'm showing you. Opponents put down Baylan, and in both rounds you use Sidious Kron. Now, we had a bit of a discussion actually on my Discord channel. Some people said they failed, so you know, we're just kind of looking. So it will depend, I guess, on your level 6, which one you have. And as well, I have seen in other videos these fail when the enemy Baylan had level 6 mercenary where they get like 100% defense penetration. There was just too much damage. So I guess use this one with caution a bit. It will also depend, like, you know, how much health you have on your Sidious, right? How tanky he is. So it's not 100%, but it's, you know, quite a high win rate with this one. So I'm like, all right, let's hop in the battle, see what happens. Okay, so far so good. We are hanging in there. Not too worried about losing protection, because obviously Sidious got high health pool, so low on protection, you know, you don't have to worry about it too much. Okay, counterattacks doing the work. Let's go ahead. Some dodges in there. Okay. Alright, hit him back. Okay. Alright, we got damage immunity, but we can dispel it, right? Okay. Alright. Come on, there we go. Now they did have a revive Chron on level 3 for Dark Side, so Baylan did revive, but it didn't matter, to be honest. Sidious got this. It seemed pretty safe, but again, your mileage may vary depending obviously on what stats you've got on your Chron and as well what the enemy have. But definitely I didn't see a lot of Baylan anymore as well on defense, and personally I did put him on defense for the first week, but then when I saw like Sidious can solo this guy, I'm like, let's keep Baylan for offense. So the best use for Baylan I found, well, probably there are many uses, but for me personally was taking down the Saw squads, because, you know, as mentioned before, Boba can struggle versus some Saw teams, so maybe I thought maybe I can use Baylan and do Boba for something else. But you can already see, you know, these Datacrons are a little bit affecting what we put on defense. So this is actually my first time ever using Baylan. I just unlocked him now recently when his event came back. I skipped the first week of Grand Arena, so a second week he was on defense, and then third week I started using him on offense a bit. And I'm like, I didn't even know what I'm doing, I was just kind of pressing buttons, but man, I was impressed with the damage output. Like I did, look, we got 4 abilities, like which one do I use? So just like a little bit reading what they do. Decided to do this one. I'm like, oh, it's an AoE, cool. So definitely Baylan seems very fun to use on offense. So definitely, obviously, with the Seed Chron lurking in the shadows as always, if your opponents have Seed Chron, maybe keep Baylan for offense. It's definitely a fun team to use. It looks like it can take down a lot of squads. Easy 67 banner wins. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to show you in this video. Just kind of, you know, show you these kind of the OP Datacrons, I guess, of this season. The Sidious Chron, then Boba, and as well Dr. Aphra. There we go. I got there in the end. So the Datacrons, definitely, you know, check if your opponent have them. Check their history, what they're using for them, because you don't want, you know, that you put some good defense down and then they just cheese it with one of these Crons. So try to take that advantage away from them. Hopefully this video was useful and helpful. Let me know how your Grand Arena has been going. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.